Check this out.
Welcome to BLPA Big Show. Hockey sports, life for the adult athlete.
Yeah.
Powered by the Beer League Players Association.
Better follow me.
Follow us, the BLPA, on every social media outlet. Follow the crew on Twitter at Nicker Jones.
Let's get it. Here we go.
Welcome to the greatest hockey show in the world. Good week, everybody. What's going on? I'm here with my buddy Jason. Jason, what's up?
What's going on, Nick?
You know, just getting ready for the holidays. Christmas season. 'Tis the season, or I guess 'tis the week, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy holidays to everyone out there.
Yeah, and I'm super stoked because it's like last year my kid knew what was going on. He was 3, but now he's 4, and now he's super stoked for Christmas. And it's always like it's a good age because like whenever they're doing anything bad at this age, you can be like, hey, if you don't watch your shit, bud, Santa's not coming. And then they're like, oh yeah, okay. You know, so I think we got a good 1 or 2 years, and then they're kind of like, fuck, what, you know, I don't care if Santa comes. And they're like, okay, well, shit, I got to find something else around the holidays. So, hey, did you listen to last week's episode without you?
Yeah, of course I did.
Bud, I want to be honest with you because I'm getting ready to do this read. Did you hear the howl that old Zach did? Oh, man, he just went, hey, we should just play. We don't even need to do the howl. We'll just play that one over and over again.
Yeah, I think we got it. We've got it figured out. So shout out Michael Cosentino. Let him know we got the howl figured out.
Yeah, we do. But, you know, since Zach's not here, we're just going to have to go with our own howl. And just so you guys don't know, if you haven't listened to this your first time, thank you for being here. But this show is brought to you by HockeyWolf.com. Ow, 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 ow! HockeyWolf.com. They're a pro shop. They're based out of the Pacific Northwest, Montana, Seattle, those places, but they do ship all around the country, probably even to Canada. I don't know the rules. There's probably some rules somewhere. But they can have you taken care of, whether you need teamwear, whether you need jerseys, whether you need equipment. They're cool people just like you and me, beer leaguers, trying to make beer league more affordable for everybody. They also dabble in lacrosse. They have some BLPA stuff that we don't have. And they have a whole line of CCM gloves that are branded from all 50 states. So if you're into that kind of thing, they're really cool gloves. I'm not a CCM guy myself because I'm, king of the Eagles. But go check them out, HockeyWolf.com. Ow, 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 ow.
Ow, ow, ow.
So, hey, anything exciting happening to you or happened to you in the last couple weeks since we talked to you?
Something exciting, man. No, not really. Like like you said, just getting ready for Christmas. Mine's a little different. I got an 11-year-old and a 2-year-old. So one already knows Santa isn't real. I probably should have put spoiler alert before that.
But I hope there's no kids listening. I hope there's no kids listening. Hey, if you're a parent and you're letting your kid listen to this show, not doing a great job of parenting. Just to be upfront.
Really, it's on them.
Yeah, it really is. But that's what we do here on the BLPA. We shape the minds of the hockey youth. That's what we do, and from some pretty fucking morally sound individuals, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. And then my 2-year-old, like she knows, she says Santa when she sees Santa, but she doesn't know what Santa's about, right? She just knows the guy in the red with the beard. That's a guy named Santa. So it's a little bit easier for me this year with those two being so spread out.
Yeah, it's a shitty. We were supposed to go down and see my folks this past week. We were actually supposed to leave Thursday, and we were going to come back, I believe, tomorrow, which would be Tuesday. Today is Monday, but just so everyone knows. And we just, with all the COVID stuff, we were just like, you know what? Like, I'm boosted up like a motherfucker when I was in LA. So maybe I'm not fully boosted. I'm just in the process of being boosted. But I did pot a couple goals, if that means anything to anybody that's on the fence about the boosters. But my wife isn't. My kid can't get vaccinated because he's not quite 5 yet, and so I just was like, And my dad was like, you know what, just don't come, which didn't really hurt my feelings because he did pay for all of us to come as a Christmas present to my mom, and he was just like, yeah, just stay home. We'll do it again in the summer or something. So I was kind of bummed about that, yeah. But other than that, just living life, having a little break here from hockey before 2022 hits, and shit gets wild.
We haven't talked in a while, like you said. So I do have several questions. As we go through this, I won't ask them all now.
Okay.
But speaking of LA,
Yep.
I heard a rumor that the Sunday Snakes did not make an appearance, and I was wondering if you could clear that up for everybody.
Yeah, the Sunday Snakes. I got so tired of hauling so much stuff in my hockey bag. It's way easier when we have like the RV and the trailer, and my bag can just travel around in that. But just carrying everything all the time, ferrying it all the time, it just gets old. And so I was looking for ways to lighten the load per se, and I took all my hockey gloves out, completely thinking I'll toss the snakes back in at the end after everything's cleaned out, and I just did not. I did not toss the snakes back in, and I think it fucked us, bud, real bad. I think it fucked us real bad, really, because
Brutal.
I'm going to say our team, if you listened to last week, you would know, not the most gifted offensive team in the tournament, as the least amount of offensively gifted. How in Vegas, when we were all on a team, we thought we were going to not be that good and not score any goals, and we went out and scored a whole bunch of goals. Opposite.
Yeah.
It was the opposite. Like when I looked at our team on Friday, I said, this is a team to beat right here. And I did predict the A championship and B championship correctly on the front end, but it required a lot of luck, really, because our team was the worst, and we shocked the world on Sunday morning against the undefeated Louis Vuitton, or the Draft Vuitton team, to stamp our ticket. And then we lost I think it was a 2-0 game with it was the empty netter was the second goal. And I think that probably me not having the Sunday Snakes was the reason we lost.
Ooh, backfired on you. Now, if I was on your team, I probably would be taking this pretty hard, but luckily I wasn't there. So, I'm going to let it slide, but I feel like, some guys and gals are probably let down.
Yeah. I mean, I let that team down. The previous one in Vegas, I let the team down because I couldn't play on Sunday because of my injury. But I think I kind of fixed that in two ways. One, I bought a bunch of like ankle sleeves that have padding up the whole ankle, and I wore 2 of them, and it didn't bother me. And I also got a new pair of wheels, Rockets, vroom vrooms.
Yeah, that was my next question. I saw on the Twitter that you got a new set of wheels.
Yeah, I'm unsure on them. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't try them on. I wore Bauer. I wore Grafs for a long time, and then I went back to Bauer, and I've been wearing the Supreme line for a few years, and so I just dig them. And I guess the Supreme line now is a very low cut on the ankle, I've been told, and I didn't like that because I'm a bender, so I need all that ankle support. So I went with the Vapor line, but they said it's okay because now they have 3 different fits. They have Fit 1, which is the old Vapor fit, like the thinner, narrow one, and they have Fit 2, which is the Supreme, and Fit 3, which is the Nexus. So I just ordered my size in a Fit 2, and I've got to try them on, but I haven't had them on the ice. They are really snug. They hurt my toes, which I don't like, and so I'm a little iffy on them, but we'll see. I mean, the only reason I bought them is because I have a buddy that works at a pro shop, and he had already bought some new skates, and Bauer gave them all a thank you for working in pro shops gift card, so I got them at half off. And so that's the only reason. That's the only reason I purchased them. Or no, I got the code because I'm an international beer league playboy, and that's just the kind of the perks you get when you're an international beer league playboy. AKA my friend gave me that discount code. But I mean, listen, I needed some new skates just because I think maybe the padding wearing down. I had these other ones for a few years. I do play a lot of hockey, so. Yeah, but anyway, so I let you down in Vegas. I let my team down in LA. So basically, can I let my team down in Philly? And let me tell you how I'm going to do that. I'm just not going. I'm just.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, I did it. Showed them. But hey, before we get any further, I do got to talk about the social media channels. You can follow us at all social media channels, the BLPA. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find us even on Pinterest. Go follow us. Go check us out. Rate and review. Hey, it's Christmas. You want to give us a Christmas gift because we've given you so much funny jokes. Well, most people think we're funny. You've given us so much. We've given you so much through the year. Why don't you give us a little rating or review? 5 stars only. Good reviews. People were like, here's your review. You just write it. And so I'm writing things like, these guys fuck in our reviews. So that's our latest review because someone said, here, just write whatever review you want. When I was in LA, I'm like, all right, Nick and Jason fuck. And that's our 5-star review. So,
Perfect.
if it's on the internet,
And it's
sure.
not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong at all.
It's not wrong.
I just wrote what everyone was thinking anyway. So
Turn it up.
If you're digging the show, support us through patreon.com/theBLPA.
The most greatest.
but yeah, so lots of. I mean, as we close out the year, lots of big things. I definitely am not going to Philly. We just discussed that as a group today, and the reason is sound. It sucks, but the reasoning is sound. You got to make smart business decisions sometimes, even at the detriment of your own experience and what you want to do. And so we just kind of talked about how the tournaments are kind of mashed up really close together or even a couple weeks apart. But if we all go and we all get Omicron, then there will be no one left to run a tournament like Iceland. And so I said, okay, I really want to go to Iceland because I think it's rad and because I dreamed up the idea. So I was like, I don't want to take the chance. And maybe I would, if I did get sick, it wouldn't be very long, but then I'd have to like come home, be quarantined, away from my kid again before I leave for Iceland. And I was like, it's not really fair to Coop. And so let's be smart about it. And let's think about this as a business decision. So we have a crew that's running that one without me. I'll still be overseeing things, just so everyone knows. Don't try to pull any funny shit because the commission ain't there. But everyone will have a good time. I mean, you got a good team. They've done them by themselves before. Like I missed when I had COVID last time, so it's not a huge deal. But then we have that, and then as we go on through, we might have to make these decisions depending on how long Omicron lasts. Like some people are being very optimistic, Jason, and saying, well, this could burn through in just a few weeks because it's going so fast. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not an epidemiologist, I can't even say it.
Epidemiologist.
Well, you could, okay, yeah. So you could be one. You can say it. I couldn't even say it, so I couldn't be. I am a scientist, a doctor scientist, just not of that. That's just not my branch.
Right. You want to stay in your lane, which makes sense.
Yeah, you have to stay in your lane. Like people that try to, it happens all the time. Like I almost got sideswiped today going to get Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner. I was just like, bud, you got to stay in your lane. You got to stay in your lane.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of cool BLPA stuff coming. And I guess since we talked about COVID, I know there are people that go to these tournaments, they listen to the podcast, they want to hear information about it. So here's your information on the tournaments. I've got a lot of messages. I've had to send emails out. None of the tournaments are canceled. All of them are still full go. We work with the rinks. We contact the city. I send emails every day. Hey, what's going on? This is what we're doing. As of now, we're all good. Philly, we're all good. Iceland, I mean, they only have like 200 cases a day. Of course, there's not very many people there, but they'll only let you come in without a quarantine if you're fully vaccinated. So you have to show that. You have to test to come home. So no one freak out yet. It's not time to freak. Let's be cool, right? Stay in your lane. Everybody be chill.
Yeah, stay in your lane. Keep it cool.
Stay in your lane. So that's basically the updates. Everything so far is a go. If it does spread really fast and it's out of here in a few weeks, hey, that's effing awesome. I don't know if I truly believe that, but I do, because I read and I'm a scientist. I've looked at some of the reports from South Africa. It looks promising. Obviously, it's a different population. It's a different culture, different everything over there. But if they stay true to that, I mean, if you're vaccinated, sounds like you're gonna be fine. So. And even if you're not vaccinated and you catch it, maybe you still be fine. I don't know. I'm not an epidemiologist, right? So, but anyway, I do have some exciting news. Oh, what was that? Was that yours or mine?
Wasn't me.
Oh, you didn't hear
but
it.
But it did sound like Michael Myers. I did hear it.
You did hear it.
Like Michael Myers.
You heard it that time. Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
Oh yeah. Clapping.
So, sorry about the cough right at the mic. That's very unprofessional. I am sick. I've gotten sick since since LA. I've been sick since I got home. It's not COVID. I've tested like 5 times, but it's a shitty ass cold. So sorry, gotta drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated because that's what athletes do. So
How you do it? So speaking of other new fun stuff, I think I saw something about a BLPA like monthly VIP box or something.
oh yeah, the new.
You want to hit me
new
with
thing.
that?
Yeah, I will. Well, let me hit you with this first. Okay, here's the deal. We sold a lot of merch in a couple years. A lot of merch this past year. And I think it's a thing. I think it's a way to keep the BLPA brand going, to keep having, a lot of merch. I like merch. I wear a lot of merch. You should see my closet. It's ridiculous. And so I feel like I failed a lot of people on the merch side of things, just in terms of shipping and all this stuff, especially the Canadian beer leaguers, because the thing is they have to buy the merch right now in US dollars. Then they have to ship it with crazy fees to ship from USA to Canada, and then they got to pay duty. So a lot of Canadian beer leaguers, there are people buying it, but I feel bad for them. I feel bad that they're getting it right up the old tailpipe on this stuff. So I've also been doing a lot of research, and we want to hold more stock so we can ship it out faster. It's not print on demand. The margins are better. It is a business, so obviously you want to make more, right? Because making more means you can do more stuff. And so we've been looking for a space to a BLPA office, the HQ, really. And so I had this idea about the VIP club, and I was like, if we're going to do that, we actually have to have a space so we can have, a place to put together the boxes and mail them out from. And so I think we found a space. I think we're going to probably move into it at the first of the year, which will be really cool. But it's a small space. Like it's like a back office in the back of a hockey jersey company. And they just have this extra space. And so we're going to rent it, and we're going to try to grow out of it. That's the plan, until we can have a big fortress that's an actual, we're going to own a rink one day, maybe a few of them. But for now, we got to start small. And part of that is the BLPA boxes. And I think it's, people like our shirts. And so we thought, what better way to connect with people than to do like a shirt of the month type of club. And so I was like, yeah, but how can we, keep increasing value? And so it's going to be basically a BLPA VIP box for beer leaguers. You're going to get a shirt every month, and there's going to be a lot of other goodies in it. There'll be like a BLPA membership card, which will have a unique code to you and you only. And it'll come with a lot of perks that are connected to that code that you can use it for on things that will, the code will be active as long as you are a member, or until the rules change, which will always be grandfathered in. But I think that it's a cool thing to do to give back, and on the benefit is we can help a lot of other hockey companies, be exposed to the BLPA brand by sending them their stuff, whether it's, tape, other gear, other different things. So I just thought this is a pretty cool thing. I don't know how many boxes we'll sell. I mean, we sold a bunch of merch. The original goal is 100 boxes, and then 250, then 500, then 1,000, and then 20,000 boxes. That's how many people are in our group. So we're working on that to fill the first one. I've already got 12 t-shirt designs, and it's actually 10 t-shirts and 2 hoodies. So if you go 6 months consecutively, on the 6th month, instead of a t-shirt, you'll get a hoodie. And on the 12th month, you'll also get a hoodie. So that's kind of the deal. I would dig it. It's stuff I've done the boxes in the past. There's a lot of people that love those kind of boxes. So hopefully a lot of people will love it.
Sounds super dope. I can go ahead and tell you got one customer for sure. But then again, I'm a sucker for those like membership things. So I think I just fall perfectly into your marketing there.
Well, and you also go to like draft experiences, and so one of the codes, one of the things with this code is every draft experience will be 10% off.
There you go.
So you're basically you're almost, if you go to, and I know a lot of people don't go to one a month, but if you went to one a month, you would almost pay for the box with the code, right? So right. For me, it's a no-brainer, and the hard part is obviously, the balancing act between affordability and value, and all the things you can do to it, right? Because 10% off is $40 basically, off a draft experience. And so, then you have a shirt, which if you bought a shirt, our shirts are $30, our hoodies are $55, and then you got to, take in consideration shipping. And so there's so many things to do, but I do think it's a cool idea, and it gets us, lets us expose our brand to other things. And so there's a lot of other cool things we can do. Like at first we're like, well, let's not sell the t-shirt of the months outside. But it's like, okay, well, what if we print more than we have? We have to sell them outside. And we're like, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll sell the t-shirts outside, but we'll raise the price by whatever, $10 on the shirt. And all the extra that we sell, the individual t-shirts that aren't in the club, we'll donate that to charity. So for example, like the February shirt is, it's like a heart made out of hockey sticks. We have a version that says give blood. We have a version that says donate life or something, but we would then sell the extras that we have and we would donate that to organ donation or something. So, a lot of ways to kind of do, fulfill our mission of making the world a better place through sport. And so, it's just kind of a cool thing that I think is going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see, what company we already have a few companies that want to get involved. And, I talk to companies almost every day. So pretty stoked about it.
Awesome, man. Well, it sounds really cool for sure.
And we're going to have an office. Too bad it's not big enough to put in one of those like shooting batting cages. Ooh, the hockey shot net that also doubled as a batting cage would be pretty rad. So like you could be dropping clap bombs and you're like, you know what? Nah, I want to hit some dingers now, and then just start hitting dingers. That would be insane.
There you go.
There's a rink. There's a rink
dingers.
Dingers only, bud. There's a rink in Austin, and they have this brand, this baseball brand. It wasn't big when I was playing, but it's bigger now. It's called Marucci, and it might be pronounced different, but it's spelled Marucci. Marukai. I don't know. I think it's Marucci. Or it could be Di Marini, but I think it's Marucci. It's Marucci, I think. But anyway, they have these batting cages in this hockey rink where we play our Austin draft experience and the BLPA Fest. And they actually have like a virtual screen, and it looks like you're batting in major league stadiums. And so, like when you go to Dick's Sporting Goods and they have the golf thing and it shows you the simulator, this will show you how far it shows you how far your ball goes. And so you can actually hit major league dingers in this batting cage.
That's pretty sick.
And I did hit some.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I played softball. I played baseball growing up. I played slow pitch, men's beer league softball before I started playing hockey. I'm not a home run hitter, but I'm a guy who can put it anywhere. You want me to put it down the right field line, left field line, gap in center, wherever. I'll just hit a liner, wherever there's not somebody, or in the case of co-ed, wherever that one chick is that is just on the team for fun. But I think if I got in that thing, I'd be a little embarrassed at how far away I was from getting the dinger.
I like it. You're like a Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. You're like the beer league Tony Gwynn. I like that. You know what? When I was playing, I did not hit it towards the girls. Because one time there was
you had more integrity than that.
Well, it wasn't that. Well, maybe. No, I didn't. But like we played one time and there was a girl on first base and I hit a fucking piss rocket at her. Just a fucking missile, bud. Like it just, opposite field and everything. And it hit her glove. Like she had it in front of her face, but I hit it, I guess, so hard. It took it after it hit her glove. It went back into her face and broke her nose. And she was like bleeding everywhere. She dropped the ball. So I ran down and touched first base, and then I made sure she was okay. But I always felt so bad then that I'd be like, yeah, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like when I was,
and just to,
yep.
Go ahead.
I was just saying when I was 14, we had a place called Celebration Station, which is like go-karts and that kind of stuff. And a girl like spun out in front of me, and I ran over the top of her car. And I don't know whatever happened to her, but the ambulance had to come get her. And so I just felt bad. It was kind of the same like flashback situations.
That's brutal, man. And just to be clear, we're not saying all girls are bad at softball.
No, not
there were also times where there was a dude on the field and I'm like, oh, I'm hitting it to him every time.
Well,
I just meant that generally in co-ed, most teams have the one girl who's like, not really a ball player, but she's on the team because she's friends with somebody or she's just looking somewhere to hang out. So just want to make sure before I get, my first interaction on Twitter from a listener is, hey, all girls aren't bad at softball. I played with some phenomenal
Yep.
girls who are just crazy, way better than I could ever be at baseball or softball or whatever. But just in general, there was usually in co-ed that one girl on the team that wasn't really there to play. She was just more there to drink and hang out.
Yeah, and you can always tell because she always pre-games. And there's the dudes are the same
sure.
way. Like, and you can watch him warm up, and she's all like, she never throws the ball, and she's always
Right.
like has a high pitched laugh, and she just always, talking about not ball stuff, right? And the same with the dude. Like you can watch him warm up and do a couple, wind sprints. You can be like, yep, that's the guy right there. That's where I
the
want to
guy.
go. But yeah, I mean, no, definitely. I've played with a lot of incredible ball players that are male and female, and nothing underhanded here. We just Jason's just trying to hurt people, really, and me, I did hurt that girl that one time, and I was like, oh shit, that sucks, right?
Turn it up.
Be a beauty. Listen, subscribe, rate,
This is
and review. Let's get it.
You know what NFTs are?
I have a basic understanding of what NFTs are.
I made BLPA NFTs yesterday. Don't know.
And do I have one yet?
No. But
Sure.
I think, listen, here's the deal. I don't know a ton about them. I know some of the features. Like one of the features is, okay, I can sell one of my NFTs and I can set like a commission on it. So if it's resold, I get a portion of that, which is really cool. One, because it would be nice to make some money, but two, I think it's the way of the future for things like event tickets and sporting event tickets, because there's always those scalpers. And this is a way that organizations and teams or, artists can recoup some of that money from scalpers, having those bots that buy all the tickets and then reselling them at obscene amounts, right? It's insane. So I think it's really cool. So we have like, I don't know, like I minted, like I really know what I'm fucking talking about. I minted like 4 different designs. Like I literally went into Adobe Illustrator and made an 8-bit hockey player and an 8-bit BLPA logo, and that's one of our NFTs. It's really cool. And so, I'm giving some away for free. So all you have to do is if you DM me on Twitter at the BLPA and send me your Ethereum or Ethereum, I don't know how Ethereum, your ETH, send me your ETH wallet, and I'll send you over an NFT for free. You don't even have to pay me for it, but I will let you know that if you ever sell it, 10% comes back to the BLPA. So what I want you to do is I want you to sell it, and then I want them to sell it, and I want them just to keep selling and selling and selling and selling. That's what I want. But for all of our loyal BLPA people, I think NFTs are cool. You know what? We might even include NFTs in the subscription box. It's like, hey, if you sign up for a subscription, give me your ETH wallet address, and then we'll send them out a NFT, and we can collect them. We can trade them. Maybe we can. I know there's a way to connect where you're like, okay, once it does this, or at a certain point in time after so many trades, there's some kind of unlockable thing to where you can send them something. So like, okay, like if this thing gets sold, 15 times, or if it hits a certain amount, you get this, or whoever's holding it at a certain date will get, a BLPA merch pack or a free Dex or something, right? So there's all sorts of kind of cool things that you can do in that space, even though I don't completely understand it and I'm not really all that artistic, but I did get on Adobe Illustrator and make it. And did I send it to you?
Yeah, you did. You sent me the picture.
Yeah, I made that.
You didn't send me the NFT. You sent me
I just sent you a picture,
which
is basically the same thing,
right?
But something different. But so yeah. So I spent time, like I was literally like, I had so much stuff to do last night, and I was reading. I was like, oh, let me see if I can make one of these. And then I looked up, and it was like 3.5 hours later, and I was like, shit. Well, I got one. Here we go. So yeah. So we have BLPA NFTs. So I'm talking with a lot of people that deal in them, and there is cool things you can do. So maybe we can make them like little virtual BLPA trading cards and trading them around our community and attaching some cool stuff to it. I think that would be a pretty cool way to just kind of gamify things, because people like to win.
Yeah,
people like to win. So
well, in the same realm, I'm in the middle of building a crypto mining computer. So that's something.
What will you mine?
Ethereum, probably. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I think so.
I also don't know, much about this stuff, but I feel like I'm getting left behind. I feel like I got to do something.
Well, it is crazy because you do hear all this stuff all the time. And listen, the BLPA isn't the youngest of folks. I mean, there are a lot of young folks in there. Obviously, I'm not one of them because I use the word folks. But when you say to some of the people, like they're like, "Oh, fucking stupid," Bob. But it's not. Like, okay, maybe you think it's stupid because it's different than the way we've always done it. But that's the great part about the world. It always moves forward, and there's always different and unique ideas. And even if NFTs like fell and bust on their face and they're nothing, it's just something different, a different perspective for your mind to try to go someplace. And you never know what can grow out of those different perspectives, right? I mean, can you think about like the Wright brothers when they're building this fucking airplane? Like, yeah, we're going to fly around like fucking birds. And people are like, that's fucking stupid. Why the fuck would you do that? And they're like, right. Yeah, because it's cool and it's different and it's unique and we want to do it. And then now look how much we fly, right? So, I mean, I'm trying to buy a flying car when they come out. If people buy enough subscription boxes, And hey,
that's the goal. So
if you buy
no
enough,
pressure anyone, but yeah. We're trying to get a flying car here.
I'll give you rides in my flying car, like the Jetsons. I'll be like, meet Nick Jetson, his friend Jason, his dog Astro, and
it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, and then we'll after we buy the flying car, then we'll buy the rink. And I got so many ideas for a rink. It's not even funny. Rinks aren't cheap. One, and two, they don't make very much money. Unless you're just extremely good at it, and I'm probably not going to be extremely good at it, but I want a rink, and I want it to be called the Nick. It's just what it can be called, whatever, but everyone will refer to the first one as the Nick. And the idea for the first one is it's like a 3-sheet complex. Obviously, it's near some hotels, but we also have a big-ass parking lot that is an RV parking lot. And there'll be like concrete pads, they'll be level, but it'll have the best RV internet in the world. That'll be the only thing, because that's the one thing I hated when I was driving around. I could never get good internet. Couldn't stream anything, so I basically, that's what I want to do. And it'll be 3 sheets. And then I have an idea for one in a more city area where it's like a hockey country club. Basically, you just leave all your bags there. And whenever it's your game, your bags are in your locker room, and it's just kind of a higher level of the game, right? Where we're just beer leaguers, but we're bougie. We have those Louis Vuitton jerseys, those Dior jerseys like we had in LA, and it's just the beer league country club. That's the next idea. So
just bad and bougie. I like it.
Buy a bunch of boxes, boys and girls. So speaking of BLPA,
we can make this stuff happen.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to make cool shit like this happen, I'm like the Willy Wonka of beer league. All right, I just want to do weird and crazy shit, and I'll invite you. I'll give you everyone a golden ticket. You can all come and see how weird I am, but we gotta get there first, and the way to get there is to buy BLPA boxes and merch and come to the tournaments. So all I'm saying is, if you want to be a part of history and you want to build something great, you just got to stick with the BLPA Big Show. Me and Jason, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll take you there.
Yeah,
we'll take you to the promised land.
I mean, let's not forget Randy and Jeff and Dan, like all the people that make it happen. They're there too. But speaking of Jeff and speaking of the BLPA, we don't talk enough about what's hot in the BLPA group right now, and we do have something that's quite hot. It's the age-old question: what's the worst part about beer league, Jason? What does everyone complain about? What does everyone hate?
Ringers.
The BLPA Big Show, coming to you live from a locker room or parking lot near you for the game with a beer at BLPA Big Show.
Ringers, yes, and those are also a problem in the BLPA. and the draft experience. And so someone just sent me a message on the BLPA, which, by the way, I'm banned on Facebook for 30 days or something. No, a week the first time, but I can't do groups. But they sent a picture of their new baby. The baby literally has a onesie that says straight out of the BLPA, and he's laying on this 3 draft experience jerseys that this guy's been to, and just says, big shout out to Nick and Randy and the entire BLPA family for the onesie. Future beer leaguer in the making. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. He'll see us in Tampa and or Boston. And this guy is the guy that came to Austin when his baby was almost due. And so he was worried, but awesome pictures. But anyway, back to the ringers. Jeff Peck.
So the
ahead.
ringer thing, though, it's a different problem in the decks, right? Because we welcome the ringers.
We do.
Decks.
We want ringers.
It's not like regular beer league where we want the ringers out. Right?
Yeah.
We want the ringers. Bring the ringers. The question is, who's the ringer?
Who is a ringer? Exactly. And that's the hardest part, right? Because as I say, like when I have this whole blog on blpa.com that says how we draft, and a Calgary 6 is way different than an Oklahoma 6. Not dissing Oklahoma. It's just different. A lot of people in Oklahoma didn't grow up playing hockey like they did in Calgary. And so, right. What I find is, especially like, let's break it down. And again, not stepping on toes with America and Canada, but what I find is that especially the Canadian players that have played their whole life, when they rank themselves, they tend to underrate themselves, and not maliciously, yep. But they'll say things like, I'm a 6. I've seen so many better hockey players than me that I'm just a little bit above average. And then you'll have a guy, and I see it a lot of time in the States, don't see it as much in Canada. Doesn't mean it's a law. It's just a hypothesis. It has to be tested by the scientists. But a lot of people in the States will say, oh, I'm the best person in the lowest division, so I'm a 6. But then when you match those 6s up, one is way better, right? So anyway,
it would be the same way if we were drafting football teams. A Calgary 6 and an Oklahoma 6 would also be very different.
Exactly.
But probably the other way around.
Well, 100%. I mean, not to diss on like the Canadian Football League, but the games that I've watched in the Canadian Football League remind me of my high school football team. Right. Like it's I was at
not the same level.
I was a big high school. I was one of the biggest high schools in Oklahoma. We were in the highest class in size, and like that's the players look the same. Like it's a different level, and it's not bad. It's not good. It's just just like Canada always wins. Canada always wins gold in the Olympics, which we'll talk about later. The NFL players, the American players, would always beat the Canadian football players at football. It's just the way it is. I that's what I believe anyway. And obviously, Miracle on Ice, you play them 10 times, they might win 9. Maybe that happens, but I would just say there's a higher level of football in the state. But anyway, but sometimes you have players that are good, but always say they're not good. I'm not that good. Why do you keep putting me in the ring around? I'm not that good. And one of those is our friend Jeff Peck. And we talked about it last week on the podcast about ringers and all that stuff. And so it got me curious what people thought. And I went back and I started looking at his stats. And I didn't break it down by goals and assists, just by points. He's played in 23 tournaments over the last 2 years. That's 115 games. He has posted 231 points. And contrary to popular belief, where people say that Jeff Peck doesn't pass, not all of those points were goals. He does have assists as well. And so my question was, would that be a ringer? Like that's 123 games. I'm sorry, 115 games, 231 points. He is literally at 2 points a game. And so for me, if you think back on like a league game, if you saw a guy in your league that had 2 points a game and you weren't in the highest division, you would say, "Oh boy, needs to move up." That's a ringer.
Move up, yeah.
And now I get it. I've seen Jeff Peck play a lot, and I'm not a coach, but I played a lot of hockey. Like I can usually see a guy take 1 or 2 strides and be able to say, "Okay, this guy can play," or
Right.
Because skating is 95% of the beer league game. But Jeff can skate. He's got, obviously crazy hands with the toe drag, and he's got a great shot. Maybe, and I think he has good vision. I've seen him make really good passes, but usually he'd much, no offense, old Pecky boy. Usually he'd rather make the pretty dangle, and I get it. Chicks dig dangles and goals. I get that 100%. And so he has all those qualities, and he usually leads the tournaments in points or goals or whatever. And I always I say, I got to put you in the ringer. I say, I'm not a ringer. I'm like, but it doesn't. If I put you in the ring around, or if I don't, you're going to lead the tournament in points. And to me, that's a ringer. If you lead the tournament in points, that's a ringer. Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for that for sure. Right. Like I always say, you look to your ringer to add points during games. Right. So if you're adding points every game, on average 2 per game, pretty good.
Now the argument on the other side of it is he can't carry a team. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and win you games, which I also get, because Peck does play a lot better if he has another high-level player with him. Feed him, set him up. That high player will feed him. It takes all the pressure off of him, because I have seen Peck, not pass to me in the corner in Charleston, because he's trying to dangle 3 people at the blue line. I'm down in the corner like, but I probably won't finish this, but I can get a shot off,
I can try.
I mean, I'll try real hard. And you were on that team. And so, So, I mean, that's the question right now. And right now we have 168 votes or something. And it's 50-49.
Cool.
So, and listen, here's what he said. I'll read off some of his stuff, because he's talking. Let's see. Someone says, just let it be known that his only move is a toe drag. He may get apples, but he doesn't really score. And I'm like, okay, he scores all the time. What are you talking about, bud?
All the time. Literally all the time.
Even though I give him a ton of shit, Jeff Peck is a first-rate player, and I would play on his team any day. Based on my Dex experience, he belongs in the ringer draft round every time. Next one. Jeff is not a ringer. He's a second round 100%, but you have to take into consideration each tournament skill levels are different. I agree. Not a lot of high level people sign up sometimes, so if no one comes that's a high level player, then he would be a air quotes ringer, but not overall ringer. And I said, okay, I have to agree Jeff is a solid player, but depending on the skill levels of each tournament, because they're different. Okay, so we've established that the skill levels are different. But Kevin said he's one of the best round robin second round players out there, meaning he's scores a lot on the first day, but not on the second day. Jeff's not a ringer, but a great guy to have on the team. Let's see. I'm trying to see where Jeff, he flips off everyone that says, yes, he is a ringer. And he says, none of you are helping my case. I argue with Nick all the time. I'm not a ringer, but I'm always in the ring around. So many people are better than me, but I'm in the ring around. So obviously he doesn't want to be, right? And someone said, I think you're going to lose this one, buddy. Points don't always translate to a ringer. I've only played in a couple tourneys, and situational awareness either on defense or breakouts is a major asset. You do tend to forget there's a defensive zone, JK, but you're in the ringer class. So I'd rather be on your team than against you. Yep, there you go. So, I mean, we do want ringer. We want more better players, and maybe if you have better players, then Jeff Peck is a second line guy. But when you're putting up 2 points a game, I mean, he plays in the D League in Columbus with no issue. Please consider that. Love having him on the team, but he's not carrying the play like you expect a ringer to, which is true. So it's I guess it really does come down to the tournament and the skill level that's there. But I mean, he's played in some high level tournaments, and he's still putting up 2 points a game. So, I mean, there's some tournaments where he had 20 points in the tournament.
Yeah. So, and I think I played with Jeff a lot. I've been on his team, I want to say, like the last 4 tournaments in a row. And I 100% agree that it's totally dependent on who is playing in that tournament. Because in Eagle River, Wisconsin, for example, it was a very low skill level, very low. Jeff was absolutely a ringer. in that tournament. Like if there, four ringers, there were not four people better than Jeff, right? So he had to be in the ringer round because he's one of the top four. But I've also played on teams where Jeff was in the ringer round and there was a guy who wasn't in the ringer round that was better than him. And I'm like, maybe that guy should have been in the ringer round and Jeff should have been in the second tier round. So I think the answer is Jeff absolutely can be a ringer, but he doesn't necessarily always have to be a ringer. It's depending on, who shows up. And really that could go for anybody, right? Like if all of a sudden a bunch of ex-NHL players wanted to start playing in Dex tournaments, then suddenly, our ringers would be dropped down around, right?
Or
it's all situational.
Or we get a Dex with all beginners, and me and you are in the ringer round.
Perfect.
How are we going to play? How are we going to be the best defensive duo in Dex history if that happens? But we'll find it.
That will make it tough. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I mean, I don't like straddling the fence here. I just don't. I like to be direct. I like to put it right down on paper, put it in stone. And because of that, I'm going to say Jeff Peck is always going to be in the ring around. Unless we have, he wasn't in the ring around in LA. He was in the second round. And guess what? He put up like 13 goals, right? So he outscored everyone, even the ringers. So, what do you do? So Jeff Peck to me is a ringer in the style that we're doing. Situational awareness aside, because I do know that, there could be 4 or 6 players that are better than Jeff. And in that situation, then no, he's not going to be in the ring around. But if there's ever a question, if there's ever should he be there? I'm always going to err on the side of dude has 2 points a game. He's going to the ring around. If it's going between a couple people. That's just the way it is. And, that's why I get paid the little bucks is to make those decisions.
You're the commish. So
I have to live and die with the decisions that I make. And so I'm going to make that decision. And, sorry, Jeff, but you are a good hockey player. Take pride or solace in knowing that I think you're a damn fine hockey player, son. See how I called him son? Yeah. All right, moving on. What's up next, bud?
Well, we talked a little bit about COVID, and we're talking about, some really good beer league players. So, I was wondering what you think. So I don't know if you've heard the news, but it sounds like the NHL players are not going to the Olympics.
Heard it.
That was the reports that are coming out. So my thought is, what if we just send beer leaguers, best beer leaguers, out to the Olympics and just let them represent the country?
Yeah, 100. Because listen, what better way to take the pulse of a nation and to represent everything that you're all about than a bunch of fucking beer leaguers? We love our countries, whichever country we're in, and we're going to go out there and play hard. We're going to leave it all on the ice unless we've had too much beer, and then we might fight, might spill over into the fucking locker rooms, whatever. But all in all, we're a pretty good gauge of humanity and the population in each of our countries. I think this is a great idea, and I would love to explore. Who do we need to speak? Like, do I got to write Uncle Joe? Do I need to write, JT here in Canada? Like, who do we got to get on the horn to make this happen?
Yeah, I think there's like an Olympic committee somewhere. We got to find their email address. I think that's where we start.
Oh, info@ioc.com probably, or org, ioc.org probably. That's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
That's, hey, I'll pin the letter tonight and I'll write it. And what's funny? I actually think I remember something where when they didn't go last time, a beer league team from Calgary wrote Justin Trudeau and said, "Hey, we'll go. Like, we go every year to like this. I can't remember where they're going, Puerto Rico or something, and we'll go. We'll go for it." And then it got some pub. That's pretty funny. And then oddly enough, the guy across the street from me, someone broke in and stole his hockey bag in his garage. He had it open. Someone just walked in, took it out. We're like, what the fuck, right? And it was in a community thing. And so I went over there and I gave him a pair of BOPA gloves and said, "Here, if you like them, keep them. And if you don't, if you want to buy something else, then, just return them. That way you have some gloves, because he said that's the only thing he was missing, that he had to go buy new. So I thought, yeah, why the hell not? I got talking to him. He was on that team that wrote the letter to Justin Trudeau. Yeah. And so, but I do think it's a great idea for this. It's such a good idea to do this, that we're actually planning on doing this with our Tournament of Champions, which is actually the BLPA World Championships. Have you heard about this? Have I told you about it?
I do remember hearing a little something about it, a little rumbling about it.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, we have BLPA members all over the world, Japan, Russia, Czech Republic. We got them everywhere. And some of them do travel around and play tournaments, but we have the BLPA bashes, and these guys, maybe they'll come for a BLPA bash. I highly doubt it, but the plan is for every winner of the BLPA bash is going to go into a tournament where you can only get in by winning. And then I got to talking to some of my friends and like, well, like as a team from the Czech Republic, we can't come win it and then come back. So I thought, you know what? We can make it a world championship. And obviously all these are, U.S. champions. And if some international team wants to grace us with their presence, we can just offer them an honorary invite into the world championships. And then we can truly make this a world tournament.
I dig it.
So, we're working on a couple places right now for the world championships. One of them is Southern Florida. One of them is Vegas. And one of them is Toronto. So those are the three people we're talking to make the Tournament of Champions happen. And, who knows? You win from wherever we play. We're in what? We're in Denver or Colorado Springs. We're in Philly. We're in Columbus. Probably the top supporting BLPA state in the union right now, or I guess city. But Ohio in general, huge BLPA folks in Ohio. So we have one there. And then we have I'm working on one in Banff. I'm working on one in Toronto. And there was one, I think there was one more. Wasn't there? Vegas. I know Vegas will have a tournament there, but I thought there was one more. I thought there was one more bash. I could be Seattle. I was working on one in Seattle. So definitely a lot of cool things, but I think that would be rad. It would be almost like the Olympics. And I'm kind of bummed that the NHL guys aren't going, but you know what? It was always Olympics to me were always amateur athletes. And so, we get to actually see some amateur athletes play. So
I think that's awesome. I still think we got to write the letter, right? Still
yep. Yeah. Well,
this Olympic thing.
No one wrote it to Joe.
Second best would be Second best would be the BLPA World Championship.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go for the Olympics, the Beer League Olympics, and then we'll go BLPA World Champ. If it doesn't work out, I mean, I'm pretty confident that the Olympics will work out. I mean, it's a short notice now. But
like who else is going to be able to go?
Exactly.
Like we're ready.
I mean,
just let us go.
We could probably get together at least 8 countries for sure. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm packed now. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. Me too. And I think we could do it. But who would win? I don't know, man. Beer League is different in a lot of different places. Like when we played in Salzburg, Austria, we said, "Oh, we're Beer League." Oh yeah, we're Beer League too. Lowest level Beer League here. I'm like, okay. And we're watching these guys play in like the Red Bull Arena, and they were fucking. they weren't any beer leaguers I'd ever seen, bud. Like they're literally like horseshoeing. Like they were literally doing the pro warm up that you see at an NHL game.
Yeah.
And you're just like, the fuck? A beer league?
I had a buddy who went over to Sweden for a job, and he also tried to join a beer league. He said he went out there, and same thing, right? They're like, yeah, we're the lowest level beer league. Come on out and play with us. It'll be fun. He said the same thing. They were doing pro level warm ups. He said then they started the game, and it was full contact, and dudes were just laying guys out. He was like, yeah, I don't think this is the beer league for me.
Well, it's the beer league I'll watch. But yeah,
right, yeah.
They take it. They're on another level. So, U.S. Beer League versus Canada Beer League, probably pretty similar. But
listen, I'll go over and take last place. I have no problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just want to represent my country.
Not a problem. Here we are at fucking Hockey House. Just what does that dude on TikTok say? Like nose darts and hockey bunnies, and yeah, that's what we'd be all about. Like I mean, we're all married guys, and we'll all be like, well, I know you'll be there without your shirt, showing off all your tattoos.
Of course.
I'll be on a mic karaoke and probably, and it'll be a real time, bud.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
It'll be a real time. So, all right. Anything? I mean, we've been here almost an hour, and I enjoy. Hey, we've been told we need to be more positive. All right.
True.
And I'm bummed that the NHL is going, but I was super stoked that all the team, like the Alberta teams, are all good. Both of them. I'm going to cheer for both of them because I'm so positive now. But I just wanted to do like a hockey Festivus thing again this year where you air your grievances. But I thought, no, this is BLPA positivity. And how can we do that? What can we name it to where we air our positive stuff out? So like, hey, you know what? Like, it's been a long year and you guys have all done great things and I'm going to tell you about them. And and so I think that should be what we focus on. In 3 days, we'll record something again in 3 days, Limbacher. But we got to come up with a name. It's like the opposite of Festivus.
Okay.
So
I'm a big Seinfeld fan, so I'm with you.
So you know what I'm talking about. The air grievances.
Yeah.
And so I think we should do it, but it should all be positive.
Okay.
And that's how, and we'll make people feel good about themselves.
See, we're taking your feedback and we're
Yeah.
applying it.
That's what. Hey, I'm a student of the game. I'm always learning, always trying to be better. I always want to better myself, and I want to better you, Jason, and I want to better everyone that's listening. And you know how you can better yourself? Once these BLPA VIP boxes become available, you can be a better person just by being involved.
Yo, crack open a cold one. The BLPA Big Show is coming right at you.
Lastly,
Sign up.
it's bowl season, college football bowl season. Obviously, I'm positively bummed that OU isn't in the playoffs because of positively awful human being coach. But things are looking up for the Sooners, and there is a bowl game, and there are some coaches that are not going to be coaching there last year or next year. They moved on, but they've taken the high road, and they're going to coach the bowl game. So I'm super stoked about that. But I'm only mentioning bowls because did you see that Barstool has a bowl game this year?
I did. It's like the Arizona Bowl or something, right?
Yeah. And I think
Boise State and somebody.
Yeah, and I saw it on International El Prez, selecting the teams, which, okay, cool. And I thought, you know what? If Barstool can have a bowl, why can't the BLPA have a bowl?
We should have a bowl.
We should have a bowl. But here's the deal. Here, we're going to turn on, to be bowl eligible, you got to have 6 wins. But all teams don't have positive seasons. And since we're all about positivity, we want to give the teams that aren't bowl eligible a place to play. And even to further that, we want to give the worst teams, the no-win teams, a place to play. The BLPA Bowl, where even the worst teams got to play for something.
I like it. So you're a fan, and your team hasn't won a game. Going into that last game of the season, you have something to root for.
Yeah.
I need this team to lose so they can get into the BLPA Bowl.
Well, I mean, you don't want people throwing games for sure. But I think these guys, like these kids that go to college and, okay, maybe they weren't good enough to play for a top tier program like the University of Oklahoma or the University of Alabama or whoever's in these big name bowls, but they got to further their education. They maybe got it for free. They're just not on that level. And, for the last, this year, they just got shit pummeled all year. And you know what?
And they're still obviously gifted athletes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, how many people, like there's 100, I don't know the exact numbers, but there's 120 people or 120 NCAA schools, right? And the roster is 50 people. So let me do my quick math. 50 times 10 is 500. So another 10 would be 5,000. So that would be 100 schools. Yep. And then 50 times 10 is another 500. So another 1,000. All right. So there's 6,000 people.
Yeah.
6,000 people in a 4-year a 4-year program that make NCAA Division I programs. And if you think about that, like my high school had like 3,000 people in it. So 2 high schools, so basically 2 full high schools out of the state of Oklahoma versus all the high schools in the United States make it to NCAA Division I. So they're still gifted athletes.
Right.
So we'll just give them something to play for. Now, the only thing is like you want to, it's last game, close game. I sure want to be in the running for that BLPA bowl. I'm going to lose this one. We don't want that.
No.
You know, but we want like legitimate, and we don't want what's that, that fake high school team that was like showing up for these ESPN games. We don't want that.
We don't want that either. It was like 45-year-old dudes
playing
against high school kids.
Yeah, and there's like
and getting destroyed.
Yeah, and just like you can't really like this guy looks old as fuck. Like he's like how come their warm-ups are, just old man jumping jacks? Like they're not even doing push-ups. They're on their knees doing push-ups. These don't look like high school kids, but I can't see in their helmet. So they're all wearing those mirrored visors, so we can't see their face. And they were getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And like, hey, bud, hey, listen, I know you're 40 and you used to play high school football. You want to be on ESPN? Well, have I got a deal for you? Do you just want to come play some 18-year-old high school kids? They're kids. You can beat their asses, and then they get their ass handed to them. That's not what we want in the BLPA Bowl. We want the 2 worst NCAA Division I schools to battle it out for bragging rights. Not that they're the worst, that they won a game in the BLPA Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Positivity. Spread cheer and positivity.
We're gonna need you guys to sign up for some boxes.
Yeah.
So that we can get this bowl going.
The only way we can make this happen is if you buy a BLPA VIP box, there will be an option to leave a tip as well. So you pay the fee, and if you want to tip because you want to see this bowl thing happen, hey, whatever. And so the only thing about the VIP, because we have the people doing Patreon, right? And we do have people already at the level of this box. So I just don't know. I guess I got to tell people like, hey, listen, we appreciate you giving us money, but it's not enough if you want the BLPA box. So you can continue to give us this free money because you like what we're doing, or you can just roll it into this box. I think most people will roll it into the box.
Right.
Because I think it's like $50 a month, right? I mean,
maybe we can get Frank to come up some money since there's a box involved now.
He buys all the merch, so why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know?
Come on, Frank.
You know who I know who's going to do it? Cosentino.
Michael Cosentino's probably already got one somehow.
He literally
got it before we even. Yeah.
Well, he heard us talking about it earlier in the episode, and he's already paid for 12 months in advance. He's just paid out in full. So, but anyway, so if you want to support the boxes and the BLPA Bowl, I think it's a great idea. I think we should. That's a goal to make. In addition to my rinks and having 20,000 boxes a month, which is going to be an insane amount of work for me, but I do it for the folks. I think the next goal is to make the BLPA Bowl and the Beer League World Championships happen. So that's you always got to have a goal going into 2022, into a new year. So,
nice.
All right. Anything to add?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, hey, in a couple days we're going to be doing the opposite of Festivus, so be on the lookout for that. Next episode, it'll be what's the date today? The 20th. We'll probably have one more episode in between Christmas and New Year, but we'll talk about our Beer League New Year's resolutions. So get those, start thinking about those, folks. Tweet them to us at the BLPA. Obviously, you can go to hockeywolf.com. They support us. Ow, ow, ow. And leave us a rating and review. Give us some fucking Merry Christmas. Tell us Jason and Nick fuck. Like, it's true. Let's go.
Yeah.
And purchase our NFTs, or actually DM me, get an NFT for free, and then sell it around the world, because it's just going to come back to us, and that's how we're going to make the BLPA Bowl happen.
Love it.
All right, you can follow him at Beer League Jason on Twitter. You can follow me at Nicker Jones on Twitter, and you can follow us at the BLPA on Twitter. Be good, or be good at it.